Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of 5-year-old Dulce Maria Alavez, who disappeared on September 16th of 2019. Her mother had taken her younger brother, and the mother's younger sister to a park after having stopped at a convenience store. The mother and her younger sister stayed in the car to play some lottery tickets and also to help the younger sister with her homework. Dulce and her 3-year-old brother Manuel were playing in the park about 30 feet away, and her mother was able to see most of the park except for the part with the swing sets. And when she was not able to see them, after about 5 or 10 minutes of waiting for them to appear again, she went and looked around. And she did find Manuel sitting on the ground crying with his ice cream beside him, which she thought initially was the cause for him crying. But then she noticed that Dulce was not around, so she started asking him, like, what happened? Where's your sister? And Manuel pointed at a couple of buildings that were next to the park, like little service buildings. So her mother went and looked, but she couldn't find a way into any of these buildings. And then she asked a couple of girls that were playing basketball at the court right next to the playground if they had seen her, and they had actually seen Dulce playing around the building by herself. And there was talk of somebody having hung around the playground with a red van who looked to be a light-skinned Hispanic male. They did actually release a composite sketch of this person later after a witness came forth and described what they saw. Nobody's been arrested so far as I'm aware, and the case is still very much open. People are still very much looking for her, but no traces have been found of Dulce so far. So today we are taking a look at this case with the tarot, and we're going to start off with the Modern Witch Tarot, which is already on the table, which is this one. And for further questions, we're moving on to the Vice Versa deck, which is this one, which has the cards with the different sides every story. So without much further ado, I'm just going to start shuffling the cards. As soon as I have a good amount on the table, we'll take a look. So let's get started. Okay, so right off the bat, I don't think this is the complete story yet. Normally when I have like a screen full of cards, this is like the first part, but I think that there's more to this first section of the story. In any case, we see a lot of weariness and concern, some addictions as well, some incareful decisions on spending and speaking. Let's just go ahead and start at the top right. First of all, I'm not sure if we're seeing too much of Dulce here in particular. I think this is more from the perspective of people who perhaps took her, because so far this reads very much as somebody who has certain instincts that they are trying to fight. That's what I'm seeing most of all, because we start off here with the Ten of Swords in reverse. Now this is somebody who is very anxious about something, and repeatedly so, because it's really part of their mindset almost. We have here the Nine of Swords as well, so that's two very strong indicators of anxiety as well. Nine of Swords is often being awake at night, as the card as well shows, just laying awake, thinking about things, and even during the day thinking about certain things, like non-stop, aware of certain thoughts and feelings that perhaps cause you concern. We have the Two of Cups here as well, which I think is a falling out that they may have had in the past with somebody, or just being unable to connect with people in general, I think. So there's definitely something about this person that makes them a loner. They have certain predilection for things that they know society does not accept, it seems, and they are very much aware of that. So we are moving on to the Four of Pentacles. which is them, I think, carefully planning out everything about their life, their resources. Maybe they also don't have a whole lot to go on financially, but I think this does seem, again, as somebody who's fairly lonely, tries to keep everything together. They try very hard to keep everything under control, everything in check, which is why we have this balance card right here. I do see the star and the King of Cups over here. The star strikes me in this particular case as feeling as though everybody's watching, like they're constantly being observed. And the King of Cups in reverse is somebody who's very good with their words and very manipulative. So this might be somebody who feels like they're constantly being watched. Maybe they have a certain delusion about themselves. Like some people feel like they're always watched by, say, the government or something, or there's a certain force that's after them, or there's something else that's after them. Like I'm seeing this sense of alienation and feeling somehow special because of it. And King of Cups, of course, is very good with their words. They're very good at manipulating people. It could be that they're telling themselves all these lies and they're being very convincing to themselves and to others. Although on the outside, the look may be a little different, because on the next row we have the Page of Swords, which is somebody who tends to speak perhaps a little bit too quickly and may also fall through every once in a while by not telling the truth. Hasty words is what the Page of Swords is. And combined with the Devil over here and the Page of Pentacles in reverse, this seems to me as somebody who has some negative habits that people around them have actually picked up on, and they probably have a little bit of a reputation as somebody who's fairly unreliable, or tends to lie a lot for their own personal gain. Or if they do happen to get a little bit of money, they tend to spend it very quickly. Like this comes across almost like a drug addict in a sense. Like, you know, there are certain people that will tell you anything so they can get money to get the next hit, and this kind of looks like that. Like they have a certain addiction and they'll do anything to try and satiate that, including making very bad, rash decisions, and also saying whatever they can in order to try and make things happen. They are tired though, because the next card we see here is the Knight of Wands, followed by the Knight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. So they are trying. Once again, we have a little bit more of this Four of Pentacles energy over here with the Knight of Pentacles, who is also very careful with their plans, I think. And these three together kind of show as well that they're kind of tired of fighting a lot, even though they seem to have that natural inclination with the Five of Swords, just trying to verbally joust people into submission almost. And Knight of Wands says that somebody's tired of fighting. So this could have been the lead up to the disappearance of Dulce, in the sense that they were tired of fighting off these urges, perhaps. And then in that case, the Knight of Pentacles also shows a plan that was put out. And I think it also kind of points towards them having probably spent some time perhaps even watching or being in the background, or just scoping out the neighborhood perhaps. Maybe not looking for anybody in particular, but just on the lookout, and I guess with a plan in mind. Let's see what else we can get, because like I said, this is probably not the end of this story in particular. We have the Seven of Cups here, which is normally like wishing for different things to come true. And this could either mean that they either didn't see any other options, or they have no goals to go for, or it's kind of like they only really have one wish, or perhaps feeling like they have no choice, because the Seven of Cups is also like an options thing. Like, I need to choose something. What do I want? There's like a whole bunch of different things I could do, things I could go for. And it could also be that they really didn't feel like they had a choice. So that would explain it being in reverse. Now let's try and move on to the actual day itself, because I think we're still leading up to it. Okay. Oh, hang on. The Hermit came out first. And then this one, and then we have a small stack here. I'm not sure if I need all of those, but let's start with the Hermit here. So the Hermit is in reverse, and that to me seems like they are leaving a sheltered existence. They are stepping out, so to speak, because the Hermit is also a little bit about retreating from the world and meditating on the things that you've done so far, perhaps also things that you want in the future. And this almost seems like they're about to escape that enclosure that they may have built around themselves. You can also see that the hermit person there is closing what looks like a laptop, like, okay, I've done enough research, I've thought about this enough, and now it's time to actually go out there and do stuff. We have here the world. That's right, we're stepping out into the world. Like I said, they do feel very much naked at this point. Like, they probably felt even more like the star over here. Like, if they felt beforehand that people were probably watching them, then this is the day where they actually decided to go out and act, and they felt very much probably like people were aware of what they were up to, like they had this feeling like everybody was watching them, that type of thing. So this might have been somebody who also kind of stood out, or maybe at least felt like they really stood out. Like somebody was very nervous, maybe hovered around a place, didn't really seem to be doing anything in particular, but they were definitely visible. Let's see, which cards are these? We need that one, that one, and that one. Okay. So the moon is out, and that means secrets, and probably they were being very secretive. Like I said, they were very anxious probably, and on the lookout for anybody who may have been aware of what they were up to, possibly. Then there's the Four of Cups. There's a no choice, or Four of Cups is normally like not really wanting to make a choice, but this is more of a not really having a choice. Kind of like the Seven of Cups again. Feels like they felt like there was no turning back, and that's why we get the Four of Cups in reverse. Next we have the King of Swords, which is basically a repeat of the King of Cups that we had earlier. I think I've said like the King of Cups is good at manipulating. They do that mostly from an emotional point of view, and of course the King of Swords is very good with their words and their thoughts. So they may have been trying to be extra careful not to stand out, having all sorts of stories ready to go in case somebody walked up and asked some questions. They probably prepared for this. Let's grab some vice versa cards. So we are probably at the park at this point. Let's see what else we can get. There is a Knight of Pentacles again, but this time it's in reverse, so the planning that they have done. Also with the Nine of Cups. Oh, a Nine of Cups. Yeah, this is very much a loner type of energy. Like, they're pretty good on their own, and even though they're up to something that most people would find detestable, I think that they felt good actually being out there by themselves doing this thing. Like, almost like scratching an itch that you weren't able to reach before type of thing, and it just feels like a release. I feel like this card in particular, the reverse Knight of Pentacles, showed that they knew they were on their own, because you can really see this desolate background there, and they are facing away from us as well. Like, they have a plan and they're not going to let anybody stop them, and they know that they're on their own. So it's actually kind of scary, that type of person. Alright, we have, this is probably the moment where Dulce was taken, because we see here the Six of Swords in reverse, showing somebody being transported against their will. Six of Swords normally being a just flow with the river type of card, let the universe take you where you need to go, but in this case it's rather the universe taking you where you do not want to go, and in this case it'll be the kidnapper taking a Dulce somewhere, probably predetermined for their own plans. This one flipped, although of course it's hard to see. Alright, so we have here the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and I like the vice versa deck just because of reasons like this. Normally for the Five of Pentacles you see the outside, you see people in the snow, walking past a really finely decorated window that looks as though the people inside must be doing really well, but over here we can see that actually the people that now have what you think they would want are also not happy, and in this case it's almost like the thing that they thought would make them happy actually turned out not to make them happy at all. So this is kind of like losing their morals for very little gain. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say here, but it's like they have everything that they wanted and it's not enough. That's what I'm basically looking for, and they're kind of like questioning themselves at this point, like, was it really worth it? Was this what I really wanted to do? Perhaps also a tinge of reality is very different from your fantasies. Type of situation. What else can we get here? Whoops. Okay, so we're working together with somebody now, and we also have here the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Six of Pentacles is a charity card, so it looks as though once they figured out that they were in trouble, which I think is this card right here, they needed to get some help from somebody, and this person either did not know what they were actually helping with, or they were deciding to look the other way. Because this is a blind benefactor who either, like I said, doesn't want to know or really has no clue what's going on, but they feel like they're doing a good deed for this person who took Dulce. So it's like, you need to help me with this. And they're like, okay, fine. It might be somebody who's related to them or who has known them for a long time, who feels kind of obligated to help them, and maybe also obligated to turn a blind eye. So this is somebody who came in after the facts. Now, what happened to Dulce in particular, though? Because we're seeing here the person who probably kidnapped her, and they are having issues with that afterwards. But what happened to her? I'm not seeing too much about that. Eight of Swords, trapped in your own mind. Could also be trapped by somebody else's words. Whoops. We've got Death here, which is often end of a chapter. Let me just grab all of these because I don't think we need all of them, but I do need to sort everybody out here. Hang on. So trapped by something, possibly trapped by words. Maybe this is the manipulation that they perpetrated on her to try and get her to follow them in the first place. And then we see Death, which could very well mean literal death, but it could also just mean like something drastic changed in her life, like the life that she lived before was no more, which is something you would expect if she were trafficked. Or perhaps kidnapped and moved to another location because somebody else wanted a little girl. It's all possible. Now, this one apparently... Whoops. See daisy. Okay, those guys on the floor, I'll get them in a moment. But first, let's take a look who this is. We have here Ten of Pentacles. Okay. That I tend to read as a loss of whatever future potential that they felt like they had, or any type of hopes and dreams that they may have wanted for the future to come true. Now, she was only 5, so maybe at that time she didn't quite have a very good grasp of what was actually going on. But I think even her at 5-year-old, she probably did realize that whatever it is that she was used to, whatever she expected her life to be, was now no more. Now I'm going to grab the cards on the floor. Hang on. Okay, so these guys fell on the floor. We have the Page of Wands, we have the Ace of Cups, and we have the Nine of Cups. Now, this seems to me like she may have been moved to a different location, because the Page of Wands in this case also gave me a very strong 2 or 3 of Wands vibe, like wanting to set out on a new adventure. I think also with this Ace of Cups here, that there was a new person or a new opportunity in her life, and that eventually settled everything for her. So this almost looks as though she was kidnapped and then taken to another location. I want to say maybe somebody brought them somewhere where she would not stand out, like maybe she was transported to Mexico and had to learn to quickly settle herself there in this new life. Now, how long this period lasted, we don't know, of course, but it looks like there was at least at some point a time where she felt like she needed to adjust to new surroundings and new people as well, with this Ace of Cups and new connections being made. What more can we see about that? Oh. Yeah, again with the Six of Wands. So we're definitely being transported at this point. And we also have here the Queen of Wands. Did I say Six of Wands? Six of Swords, sorry. Queen of Wands is here as well. And I think this might be a new person in her life who was like, okay, we're just going to movie over here now, and this is how it's going to be, and these are the new rules, these are new people that you're going to get along with, kind of like that. Interesting how we're getting 2 Six of Swords as well, so this is like a double kidnapping, the kidnapping from the park, and then after that moved a second time, it seems, by somebody who had a plan for her. What can we see beyond that? Anything else? Oh, careful. Okay, we have a Knight of Cups. We have the Two of Cups right here, but it's on the side like that. There's another card on the floor, which is the Hierophant. I'm gonna grab that. Hierophant landed exactly like that. So Knight of Cups is here. Knight of Cups is somebody who is very much absorbed with their own emotions, not really focusing on anybody else, finds themselves to be very important. So this is maybe somebody who tends to only look at what's best for them. Might be somebody whom eventually ended up receiving her in their life. And we see here this Two of Cups, and it landed like this, so I'm not really sure if it's supposed to be upright or reversed, but it almost seems like forcing somebody into a relationship almost. Also kind of like echoed here by the Hierophant landing in the same way, like some type of connection was being made that she was probably not entirely on board with and didn't have much of a choice to go along with this. So I think I'll just keep them on the side like so. It almost sounds like somebody was looking, probably not the person who went and kidnapped her in the first place, but whoever this Queen of Wands over here is, they may have been looking for somebody to arrange a future relationship with for somebody else, possibly. In any case, there's like a union trying to be forged here by somebody who actually has some type of clout within the community that they're at. So what else can we see beyond this point? Okay, again with the Ace of Cups. That one just jumped out as well. Ace of Cups, I guess we'll count this in reverse. So this is more talk of connections being made, perhaps against her will, or at least not something that she really wanted. It could also very well be an adoption, so it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could very well be that she was brought to somebody who was looking for a child, and so they had this whole "this is your new mother" situation where this person coming from up high came in to basically order it to be, and this is not something that she really wanted. So, and then we're back here with the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles like we had before. So now we're kind of almost in a loop here, in the sense of she's just trying to make the best of what her situation is, even though she's trapped by somebody else, and her future is very different from what she had expected initially. So that's what I'm getting for Dulce Maria Alavez. I hope you found it interesting. Make sure to leave a comment, that would really help the channel along. Also, there is a link in the description to a Google Docs form that you can leave suggestions for cases at. So if you have a public case that I could take a look at, make sure to put that in the Google Docs form, and it'll go on the list and we'll get to it eventually. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in another video, and bye bye for now.